I would like first to take the opportunity to welcome you all at ESSEC Asia Pacific here, especially on behalf of Professor Hervé Matt, who is the Dean of Asia Pacific at ESSEC, and who is teaching today in Paris. Unfortunately, he cannot be with us today. In the last few weeks, we celebrated very important marks for ESSEC in Singapore, since we had the groundbreaking ceremony for our new campus. So we are proud of this. We have been in Singapore for 7 years, and we are here to stay. So we like to be here, and I believe that in the future you will hear a little bit more about ESSEC. I am very happy that my distinguished colleagues are also present with me, because this is also marking the cooperation with universities in Singapore. So this is not maybe the first one, but I like to participate to this panel today when we discuss about India and Southeast Asia. Since I'm sitting on the far left side, I should adopt the Marxist approach concerning the analysis of the EU crisis and the relationship here with Asia, maybe for the next time, or if there are some questions, in that case we can talk about that. I would mark 2 points only. The first one concerning EU, and especially the recession. In fact, there is a huge discussion about, is EU in a recession, or are all EU countries in a recession in the same way? Regardless of the answer to this question, if people, and especially voters in the European Union, believe that they are in a recession, there is a political price to pay for that. And the political price would be political instability. It will be the rise of xenophobia, it will be the rise of nationalism, and the shrinking of different economies, and they would like to be only for their own backyard. And they would not like to see what is the benefit for the European Union. They would like to see what is beneficial for them. So if there is a real recession, or even if it is not a real recession, we talk about perceptions. And the perception here might be a very important one, because it will have political implications. Among the political implications, one major would be the demand for the repatriation of European activities in Europe. It means that if we have manufacturing activities outside, let's say in India, and if workers in Spain, or workers in Germany, or workers in France believe that they are deprived of their jobs because they are producing in India, they will ask the repatriation of these units. Or if it is not the repatriation of units, they will ask for the preference for buying local products over foreign products. It won't be the first time that we see this. So everything is in the, I would say, in the spectrum of how people view recession. Do they believe that recession is having an impact on their own lives? And if they believe in this, in that case, automatically, we will have political discussions. The second one is in the financial sector. As you know, lately in the European Union, everybody speaks about capping the bonuses for the investment bankers. So if they cap the bonuses for the Western bankers, it won't be only for the European Union, but also for the branches worldwide. So in that case, even for the banks here, the European banks in Singapore, or the European banks in Hong Kong, or in any other place, there would be the capping of bonuses. The question is, will the talented people in that case stay with these banks, or will they flee for some other banks? So my first point when I look at the crisis in the European Union is to see if there is a political consequence of this. Will we have the rise of these far right parties, and will there be demand concerning the nationalization or concerning the repatriation of activities? In some countries, as in France, there are already demands concerning that. So it may be a concern, because this may put in danger the openness of the European economies worldwide, and in that case we can wonder about the whole progress that we have made within the European Union, but also outside of the European Union. The second point that I would like to mention here concerns India, Southeast Asia, or South Asian countries. As it was rightly pointed by the other members of the panel, the European Union is a collection of 27 countries. All these 27 countries do not have the same knowledge, do not have the same perception what is Asia, what is India, what is Southeast Asia. I personally come from the part which is called Eastern Europe. So maybe you heard about this. It doesn't exist anymore. So Eastern Europe today in the European Union is represented by 10 countries. But these 10 countries practically have never been exposed to India or to Southeast Asian countries, except for one of them, Slovenia, as part of former Yugoslavia, when the country was one of the leaders of the non-aligned movement, and India and Sri Lanka, among others, were very prominent members of the non-aligned movement. But in the European Union, we don't have a very good knowledge about what is Asia, and especially Southeast Asia. So every time when we have to discuss about this part of the world, at best we have ignorance, at worst we have hostility. Because people are always afraid when they don't know, when they never have been in these countries, when they have never been exposed to people, when they have never been exposed to the geography. Automatically they're building stereotypes and they're building some negative perceptions about what these countries might be. So again, we don't talk about reality. In that case, we talk about perceptions. And the last point is dealing with a specific country here concerning India. It has been mentioned that for a very long time there is an attempt to have the free trade agreement with India. And from the European point of view, from some of the countries' point of view, we may have a few stumbling blocks. The first one is concerning the openness of the Indian market. And from the European point of view, special countries, we don't believe that India is ready for this, especially in the retail sector, as you mentioned. So you mentioned some of the companies, IKEA is in the same group. They would like to be present in India. It's not easy. It's not easy because of several factors. We cannot enumerate all of them, but it means that the Indian market is not so open for foreign investment, especially when retail is concerned. And the last point concerning the foreign trade agreement concerns the intellectual property. As you know, India is the home of the manufacturing of generic medicine, and the biggest pharmaceutical laboratories in the world don't like this, because very often they don't pay for the copyrights. So in that case, the intellectual property is also very problematic when we have to negotiate a foreign trade agreement with a country, would it be India or would it be another country. In order to finish with this, I just wanted to mention this duality between reality and perception. So if the European Union has maybe a wrong perception, or some countries have a wrong perception of India and Southeast Asia, the question is the opposite true? Meaning, do people in India and Southeast Asia know about the European Union? So when you said, concerning your presentation, that European Union is composed of several different countries, the question is, do all people in Southeast Asia know about that? So in that case, the perception may also go the other way. I would like to finish with this, but for the Marxist approach, maybe next time.